What's up, everyone? It's another episode of Drawn Talk. It's your boy, Tyler. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you're interested in seeing more videos and whatnot. Just some matters of business. Matters of business. You can now go on my website. It's now launched. It's drawntalkcomics.com. And I'll put a link down below. But yeah, you can check out some other work that I do, get the latest videos and podcast information. And yeah, another thing is you can go on Webtoons, go online, Webtoon, and search The Hardline. And every single week I post a new episode of my comic book, The Hardline. So that's super exciting as well. I'm really digging it. I'm, currently still working on it, but you can get to see the story as it progresses. So, yeah, and then, I'm going to be running a Kickstarter soon, but that's for another day, another episode. Really quick, I want to thank everyone who's been on the podcast so far. I've had a really good time talking with everyone, and we're going to have more interviews with some people as well coming up. So, but today I just really wanted to talk quickly, about a topic that's dear to my heart. But I see that a lot on the internet. I see a lot of posts of people saying, how life's so busy, life is rough, and then they don't have time to do their passion projects. They don't have time to do their art projects. I mean, I saw one guy saying, finally, after 2 months of not being able to do anything because life was so busy, I finally wrote 2 pages of my comic book script, and I was kind of sad. I felt it was kind of sad because 2 months is a long time to step away from a project that you're invested in, and then 2. I don't know, for me personally, after 2 months, I would hope I'd get more than just 2 pages. Or I feel like I could fit 2 pages within that 2 months. I don't know how busy their life is. But that's what I want to talk about is when it gets real busy, how do you make time to stay on track and make your comic books? Or just art in general, whether you're making videos, photography, or just illustrations, any of that, and writing as well, a book, comic book, poetry. How do you find time? So this is something I've been thinking about because I went on a little hiatus this week with art because I just had a lot of things going on. My parents were in town because I was graduating college. And also, they were meeting my fiance for the first time since they're not in the same state. And so that was a lot of work. Plus, I'm graduating. Plus, I've started getting more work at my new job. Plus, I moved out of the place I was living in and moved into another apartment. So I had a crap ton of stuff. And that took about 9 days. So within that 9 days, I did not have a lot of time to draw and to get some comic book work done. And I was even late on posting an episode of The Hardline just by a day. But it's not because I didn't even have time. It's not even that I didn't have it done. I had it done. I just didn't have time to hit the publish button. That's the crazy part. So yeah, let's talk about that. When life is so busy, how can you make time to work on your projects? So let's think about this. You wake up. I don't know what time you guys wake up. I wake up around 6 or 7. Most of the time 6, sometimes 5. And let's say you get around 12 to 13 hours in a day. Maybe 14 hours in a day. And then you have your job. It's probably around 8 hours. And after that, you have around 4 to 6 hours. And you can and then after that, that's the crucial part. What do you do within that 4 to 6 hours? That's when you have to really figure out what matters. Now, if you have a family, I understand you need to, you have family obligations, whether it's with your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, kids. You got to take care of them. So you got to figure out what really matters in your life. For me, you always put family first. That is a no-brainer. Duh. You should always put family first. But then maybe instead of going to bed at 9, you go to bed at 10. Or maybe 11. Maybe you sacrifice some hours of sleep so that you can give yourself another hour or two to work on your projects. Yeah. The biggest thing that I have felt within these last 9 days of not working on any comic book art, and it's something I've been scared of happening, but it happened, is I lost my fire and I lost my steam. If you guys watched a previous episode of Draw and Talk, I was talking about how I had the fire and that I was just turning out pages like I don't know, Mormons having kids. I don't know. I was just turning out kids. By the way, I'm Mormon. I'm Mormon, so I can make that joke. I was just making pages. I was getting so much comic book work done for clients, for myself, and I was getting so pumped. And with this 9-day break, I've been so lazy. I've still gotten pages done, but like the fire, the excitement kind of died off, and it's slowly coming back now that I've adjusted living where I am and getting back into a new schedule. But man, like, it sucked because just life hit me. Like, there was just so much stuff to do, and there's still so much for me to do now. I'm planning a wedding with my fiance, going to work, and then making time to enjoy myself, plus get comic book work done. It's crazy. So these are some pointers that I wrote down when I woke up that I was thinking about. Okay, and this is actually stuff that I do. In my room, I have a desk and it has my laptop, my microphone, my cameras, and my drawing tablet. And right in front of me is a wall, and I've put a cork board down. And my girlfriend hates it because she hates cork. But I like cork. Anyways. And right there I have... this is the first thing. Everyone pay attention. This is the first thing you need to do. You need to first remember what you want to accomplish, okay? I want to draw this many illustrations. I want to write a comic book. And whatever your goal is, you put it right there on your some place where you look at every single day regularly. Mine's my corkboard. Okay. After that, this is what you got to do. You need to make a checklist right next to it of things that you need to do to accomplish it. All right. So for me, for example, for me, I have my goal and I have a big checkbox next to it. So let's say, for one of them, it's finish coloring Demons number 11. Jeez, I wish we were on 17. We're ending at 14. That's another episode. Yeah, color Demons number 11. And there's a big check mark right there because that's my goal. And then I have my deadline and when it needs to get done. Then, though, below it are the things that I need to do to get it done. Now, in Demons, there are 20 pages that I need to color. So what I do, and this is just me, this is just how I work, but you can do it as well, is then I drew 20 little mini check boxes underneath the goal. So every single time I finish a page, I can check the box and I can see how much closer I am to finishing it. And I do that with all my projects. I mean, I have about 5 or 6 projects listed in order of priority, and I have them all on my cork board because so I can see regularly what's my goal, how close am I to finishing it, the deadlines. And yeah, and it's actually a really good feeling when you see that like the check boxes are almost finished. It pushes you to want to get those final check boxes done and out of the way. So yeah, make a goal, write it down, put it somewhere that you are going to look at regularly. Man, guys, I cannot talk. Regularly. Yeah, regularly. And then underneath it, write down or like draw some way of how you're gonna know when you're gonna accomplish it. The steps that you need to take to accomplish it. Mine are mini check boxes because I understand the goal and I understand mine's just like I gotta get like X amount of pages done. All right. Another thing to do is you need to tell someone these goals, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends. And the reason why you need to tell other people is because they can hold you accountable. Hey Tyler, how's that working? You getting it finished? And they can push you and encourage you to finish your project more than maybe you will. Maybe they won't invite you to certain activities because they know, hey, we shouldn't invite Tyler because, we know he's busy and he needs to get things done. One thing I really appreciated about my friends this week is they understood. They knew I was going to be so busy this last week that they didn't really invite me to do anything. It's kind of sad. But it was great I saw them yesterday. We had like a huge video game night, and it was nice to catch up with them. And I was just like, hey, thanks guys for not bothering me this last week. And they go, oh yeah, we knew that you were going to be busy, and we knew that you need to get things done. So yeah, they held me accountable, and they're going to help me push me through things. Another reason is that by telling people it's also like, I don't know, maybe kind of polite. I'm someone who likes to keep face with my friends. I like to keep in contact with them, talk with them, and I always feel bad if I stop talking with someone who I'm really close to. And so I will tell them, hey, listen, I've got to draw X amount of pages. I have to get this artwork done. These are my goals. I'm not going to be around for a bit. Doesn't mean we're not friends. Once I'm done with that, let's hang out again. And for them, they understand. Right then and there, they're like, oh, hey, he's busy, and this makes sense. And they know I'm busy. And so give your friends and family knowledge of what you're doing so that they can A, hold you accountable, and B, they won't get offended. They'll understand that you're busy with your projects. So yeah, this is probably a really short one. A short podcast. It's only 11 minutes. I just wanted to tell you guys, making time is hard, honestly, to do projects. Oh man, guys, the place I live in, there's just buses and trucks just driving all the time. It sucks. It's hard to make time for your projects, especially how big they are, which is why I suggest if you listen to the episode with Steph Cannon, with your projects, if you're a beginner or just starting out, and even if you're not starting out, I say you just do it even if you're professional or just doing this a lot. I still do it, is write short stories, always practice. I like to do maybe a short story a week. I try. It's really hard, but I'll just draw some panels, put some stupid story on, and it's just good practice, and it lets you get your artwork out there. But yeah, make time. And here's another thing about making time, and I've talked about this previously, but I'll talk about it again. You're going to have to sacrifice. If you're going to want to do that, if you want to do this, if you want to make art, if you want to make comic books, if you want to do anything that you love to either earn money, that's a big thing with people, is they want to earn money. You need to sacrifice some things. So let me tell you some things I sacrificed. I watch very little TV. It's so depressing. I watch very little TV, and if I do, it's normally on my laptop while I'm drawing, and I'm only maybe listening to it. Barely. It's more of just something. It's just more of noise in the background that can keep me kind of focused, so I'm not bored. So yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV, and that's sad because I missed Gotham, and I really want to watch Gotham, which I will when it comes out on Netflix. But I'm not really I don't stay regular. I'm not on the regular airtime, which sucks. Another thing is I've cut down on my video game playing. I very rarely play video games, and if I do play video games, it's maybe for 30 minutes, and then I'm I got things to do. So yeah. I've took a loss on my video games, a lot loss on TV, even movies, going out to the movies or seeing a movie. I mean, guys, I just saw Thor Ragnarok. And Black Panther. That's how late I was. And I haven't even seen the other Thors or the other Iron Mans. That's how late I was. I did see Infinity War, which was a freaking incredible movie. But yeah, that's how late I was, and because I'm just I don't have time to watch these videos. I need to get these projects done. And honestly, the things I just talked about, putting your goal on, putting those checklists, motivating / scary. I'm someone who doesn't like missing a deadline and being late. I hate that. Oh, I hate that. And so that's why for me, putting a goal somewhere I can see all the time, it's such a push. I said I wasn't going to talk about the Kickstarter I was doing too, but I'll do it right now just because it's a good example. So I have a book coming out called Entity. I did a small 20 print run. It's a graphic novel, 20 print run so that I could sell it at conventions. I went to Arizona Comic Con last year and Las Vegas. And so I just wanted to have some copies of that to sell so I could have like more books to sell for my table. And the thing is, I wasn't planning on having that book finished for those conventions. I wasn't even planning on going to those conventions. Just things happened. And so I was like, flip, if I want this book out, I need to get it to the printer by this time. And I still have 30 pages to color. So guess what I did, guys? Guess what I did? I colored 10 pages in my 5 work days. And then on Saturday and like half of Sunday, all I did was color the remaining 20. And then the rest of Sunday, I just formatted the book. Yeah. 30 pages. It took freaking forever. And that day that I did that Saturday where I colored all day, I was going to have to lose my freaking mind. But I was so determined, and you need to prioritize. I mean, I had people text me it was during the summer. They're like, hey, we're having a swim party. We're going to do this. I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so much fun. But you got to prioritize. You got to realize what's important, what's not. I told my friends, hey guys, I told them what was going on, and they were like, don't come, finish your book. Let us know if you need anything. And that's the kind of support system you need. So yeah. I think I'm going to end the podcast right there. You need to, you can make your project. It is totally freaking possible. When people are like, oh, I can't finish my project. Honestly, I love to like look into what they do on a daily basis. I'd love to follow you. Love to follow you through your life that day and just correct every time wasting thing that you do. And I'm not saying I don't waste time. I'm not saying I'm not efficient enough, but you can make comic books. You can get stuff done. You might not be getting 20 pages done in a month, but like for people who are like take like 5 months to do a 20-page comic book, I don't know. I just don't know. Like for me, I find it baffling. I don't know. I don't know what other people's circumstances are in life or like how long it takes them to do stuff. But like for me personally, I can draw, and it depends on also their style. You know, I don't want to bash anyone here. It's jacked up. I'm not going to bash anyone here, but just know if you want a project done, you got to do it yourself, and you got to push yourself to do it. Life gets busy. My life's been busy this last week, but I've been pushing myself, and hopefully I can get that flame back so I can start like making comic book work. And honestly, I get the flame mostly when I see a finished comic book page, and I'm like, wow, that looks so good. I'm really improving. Let's make the next page better. So yeah, guys, that's our episode today. Hit me up in the comments section. Let me know what's going on with you and your projects. Let me know what time-wasting things you're going to give up, because you should give up some stuff. Okay? Make a commitment today. Hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys supporting me. I'm hoping that in the future, millions of people will support me like Jay-Z and Beyonce. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for you guys. And and here's the thing. This is another thing I just want to add. I'll end it right here. I don't even know who's listening to this. It says I get maybe around 20 views of the episode. I'm hoping to get more in the future. This is a work in progress. Even if no one was listening or watching, I would still do this. Why? Because I enjoy it, and I'm gonna get it done. And I made a goal with myself. Even if no one looked at my comic books, even if no one bought them, I would still do this because I think it's fun. And I want to do it. And I want you guys to have that same mentality. Thank you. Now, please hit the subscribe button. I love you guys. This is a good episode. I'm going to go. Guess what I'm going to do now, guys? I'm going to draw. Peace out.